Hello everybody, this is Omnixius, and this is going to be an introductory video to describe what I want to do with this channel and what I'm hoping to do for the future. I originally had a Minecraft server and I created this channel to cater to that server. I did news broadcasts, I did server updates, I demoed new plugins and things. And I also did some playing. I did some Let's Plays through a couple of video games that I really liked. But the channel has been idle, the servers have been shut down. I miss my Minecraft community dearly. I so wish I had been able to keep that up and keep that going. But life changed. I ran into a bunch of issues. Some of my Minecraft community has even offered to help me fund a server and get it back up and running. But I do not have the time to devote to it like I did back then. And unless I can give it that kind of attention, I really don't want to dabble in it just yet. But it's going to come back somehow, some way. I'm going to manage this. Here's the thing. I want to talk about my story. Hopefully you're from Royal Road, because I'm going to put links to this video on Royal Road and hopefully channel some of that traffic over here to listen to this. But my story means everything to me. This is a story that I wrote out of the blue, out of a fluke. I just started seeing it one day in my head and I started writing it down. When I got through with book one, I wrote the whole book in a little over a month. When I got through with book one, I went through it again and cleaned it up and cleaned it up and cleaned it up, and I started shopping it around to agents. I wanted to professionally publish this thing. I wanted an agent, I wanted a publisher, I wanted to be able to go out to a bookstore and pick my book up off the shelf. I wanted all of that because to me it was, I'm sure a lot of you feel this way, what I'm about to say. I haven't been very successful in my life. I have tried a lot of things. I have put my mind to and worked hard at a lot of things, and even though some of those things were actually very successful, ultimately they didn't make any money. And because they ended up costing more money than they made, or they didn't make any money at all, and they had to be abandoned, and I had to find something else. And my life has kind of been a continuous cycle of this, of me trying something, building something up, getting it to a certain point, and realizing that it's just never going to achieve what I wanted it to achieve. So when I started writing, this was kind of a cathartic experience. This was me sort of getting what was locked up in my head was coming out emotionally, but it was coming out as this amazing fantasy story. And as it evolved, as it grew, more and more of my heart and soul started to pour out into these pages. And even as I read them back to myself, I began to it was like there were elements in this story that are like I'm looking in a mirror. And they're coming out in a fantasy story and they're all metaphor, but they're me. Every character in this story is a part of me, is an element of my psyche, my subconscious. And the more I wrote it, the more important this became to me. And when I started shopping it around and I started getting all these rejections, I started getting all this hate, I was really demoralized. I actually reached a point, because I sent it to hundreds of agents. I actually reached a point where I said to myself, I'm burning all of this. I'm deleting it from my computer. I'm going to go back to playing Minecraft. I'm just going to play my game and live in my, my poor lifestyle and just give up on it all, because obviously I'm no good at this. And then on that Minecraft, I went to a Minecraft server and I started building it, and I met a player, and we were talking, and it finally got around to what do you do for hobbies? We were really having a really in-depth conversation, and I told him, well, it's funny, but I've really gotten into this writing recently. I said, there's this story that just exploded in my head, and I wrote it all down, and I said, and I wrote the book after it, and I wrote the book after that, and I started writing all these extra chapters and all these other books that were going to come even after this story arc. And he's like, oh wow, you really like to write. And I said, I do, but no one's ever going to read it. I said, I'm just wasting my time. And he's like, well, you can put them online. And he told me all about Royal Road, and he told me about how it worked, and just all the pros and cons about it. And he said, if you want people to read your story, just put it up there. He said, people will read it. So I thought, why not? What have I got to lose? No one's going to, no agent is going to pick it up. No publisher wants to publish it. Why not do this? So I did. I threw it up on Royal Road. I can't tell you how much it has meant to me to see people read. Once I saw people were reading it, and I saw people were moving along the chapters, and I started to get feedback, and I started to get messages, my whole perspective changed. Suddenly, the story became even more vital and important to me because I realized people are reading my subconscious coming out. The pain in my life, the emotions of my life, the things that have gone wrong. That are, you read the story is all about things going wrong, really. A character trying so hard to accomplish something so important, and everything just keeps going wrong. And through the whole portion of it, there's this love that just keeps being missed. This is the story of my life. All of this means a lot to me. It's very difficult for me to communicate in any form how much this does mean to me. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to take the YouTube channel that was originally made for my Minecraft server. I'm going to recycle it into a channel for my books. And I'm going to put up audio logs like this one. And even more, what might be even more fascinating is I had the foresight while I was writing my book, and then through the whole editing process, like every so many chapters or so, I recorded an audio log like this one, where I talked about what was going on in my head, what I had just written about, what I was thinking about for the future, where I thought the story was going to go, all of that. So they're little fascinating snapshots of what was going on in my head at the time of my writing it. So I thought that might be interesting to some people to see the craziness going on as I was going through the process. So I'm going to recycle this channel and start using it for this purpose. I put up a Facebook page for Omnixious. I have no friends subscribed to it. I'm kind of an introvert, which is another reason why all of this is a little bit hard. I'm really an introvert, and where I live is very isolated. It's not by choice. It's just kind of how things fell out. But, I don't have a lot of friends. I don't have a lot of family. My Minecraft server, the community that was on there, that was becoming my family. Those people meant so much to me, but, life got in the way, and things were getting out of control, and I had to abandon it. And I'm so sorry to my Minecraft server and to the community that was on there, because there were so many great people on that server. But now I have a community building on Royal Road, and I realize that there are great people there as well, and I want to expand this. I want to devote as much time and energy to this story as I possibly can. I'm going to finish book 1. I want to start getting book 2 up, and then get to book 3, and so on and so forth. I'm predicting that there are 9 to 12 books of this series. Okay? That's my prediction. Don't hold me to that, but that's it. Once this series is done, because I've actually written the end of the whole series. I saw the ending, and I wrote it down. I've written the first 3 chapters of the book series that comes after it already. And I've written some scattered chapters and sections of the pieces that will be in those books. That one I'm predicting is going to be 3 to 6 books long. After that comes another book. After that comes a one-shot book that's just a one book that tells one quick story, and then between that is another book series that's going to be 3 to 5, 3 to 6. I'm not 100% sure. I've already written the opening 6 chapters of that one, of the first book of that. The thing is, I see this world in my head, and unfortunately for you, and I apologize, but I never had any training in writing. I'm actually terrible at English grammar. I've been teaching myself grammar so I can write this down and clean it up as best I can. I use Grammarly to go through my stories, but I go that little extra step where if Grammarly points something out and says, hey, look, you did this wrong, I Google what that is and study it so I can add that skill to my repertoire. So as I write more material, I'm correcting that, self-correcting that. So this whole experience, I'm hopefully getting better. I'm constantly told that I need to do more showing, not telling, but there are some limitations in this. My stories are so character focused, they're so dialogue heavy. If I do too much showing, the chapters bloat tremendously. I tried to rewrite one chapter with a lot more showing and a lot less telling, and I took 15 pages and increased the size to 42. by being overly descriptive. I have to find a balance. Anyway, keeping on focus here, I just wanted to put this recording out, let everybody know that I'm going to begin using this YouTube channel to put audio logs up. I want to get a website up. I want to get a forum up. I want to get a fan art section up. I want to build a community around this, and I want to talk to you all. I want to get a Discord server up. I want to hold monthly Discord chats where I answer questions, kind of like almost going to like a con, where you go to one of those author sections where the author sits up at the table. I want to start doing stuff like that. I want to, this world and this story means so much to me. I want to share it with people. I want to find a wider audience. If I knew how to reach one of these Instagram influencers that does fantasy, if I knew how to reach a wider audience, reach people who could help, echo my book out to a wider audience, I would do it. Problem is I have no idea how. This is all new to me, and I myself don't have the contacts in just the social structure to do it. Anyway, I'm going to cut this here before this gets too long. Thank you all for listening to this, and look to this channel for more audio recordings in the future. Anyway, thank you. Bye.